If you're trying to scale your Amazon business and you're not using debt or you're not using it properly, you're growing at half the speed that you could be. So let me show you why and the math behind it. So if I spend $10,000 on inventory with like a 40% ROI, I make $4,000. Simple math. Do that once per month, and that's $48,000 a year. Pretty impressive. What if I run that spend through a credit card with a 45-day float before I need to pay any interest? And I do that twice instead of once. Well, because I'm not waiting for Amazon to pay me before I can buy again, I have the same ROI, the same effort, but double the profit. That's the power of leveraged liquidity. This is how I scaled past a forecasted 7 figures. I'm at $850,000 in the past 12 months without no investors, no outside funding, no loans, just systems and confidence. So let me show you how I think about it properly. To use debt as a tool and not a trap, there are 3 things you need to master: liquidity, discipline, and control. This is the same framework that I've been using since I've hit $50K a month. That's when I really learned how to use debt. So let's start with the first one out of 3, liquidity. Well, you need to stay liquid to grow and to scale, right? So I use 3 cards: Amex Platinum, Gold, and Cashback. Now, you can replace that with whatever cards you want, but they all need to have different statement dates. This lets me stretch my purchases 45 to 60 days completely interest-free. So that gives me more access to liquidity, right? So here's what that does, what that means. So if I buy $5,000 of inventory on one card, I won't owe anything for 30 to 45 days. If I buy $5,000 on a second card with a different cycle, I just now gave myself $10,000 of buying window without spending a dime of my actual cash. And I also keep extra MasterCards or whatever. I have 2 other lines of credit, like one with RBC, one with Scotiabank. It's like extra firepower. It's not just like credit. It's the oxygen. Like how much available credit you have is the oxygen of your cash flow and of your business. And that's why I never have to say no to a good buy. As long as I have margins, I can always buy. But like I said, liquidity is cool, but it's not enough. You need that number 2. You need discipline when it comes to debt. And this is where most sellers have a good chance of literally blowing up their business. So here are my rules to keep that discipline in touch when playing with debt. If a lead isn't tested or replenishable, I don't get it. Right? I only want the best leads, the ones that I'm very comfortable placing big bets on. I'm not in the mood of playing risky. I'm not sure about this ASIN. I'm here to deploy a lot of cash on the right products. If I don't flip it in 4 to 8 weeks from purchase, I pass. I'm in here to flip things multiple times per year and generate an insane ROI. Including discipline is including tracking. So I track every single purchase, the ASIN, my cost of goods sold, my order numbers. I know where I'm profitable and I know how to get it again. I pay off every card before interest hits, right? Paying the credit card is a must. If cash gets tight, don't worry about it. Use line of credit to pay it, and that's your oxygen. So if I have 90K, 150K of line of credit, I know that I have that much playing room. And if I get too high of a number, I need to start slowing down spend. The goal isn't to borrow and like hope. The goal is to rotate capital with precision. So I don't use debt to survive. I use it to accelerate. All right. So we had liquidity, we had discipline, and that number 3 is control. Because most people say debt is dangerous. To a certain extent, it is. But in its truest form, that's flat out wrong. Debt without control is dangerous. But when you know your ROI per purchase, your card cycles, your inventory turnover, your payout lag, it becomes predictable. So let's run that math again. If I turn 10,000 into 14,000 in 45 days, and I do that twice in one card cycle, that's $8,000 profit off the credit. That's not guessing, that's not engineering. It's straight up math. So the real question isn't how do I make more? It's how fast can I recycle my capital without using any of my own? I know this sounds risky. You've probably heard horror stories about sellers getting wrecked using credit. And those stories absolutely are true. They're not fake. Who would fake that? They're all missing one thing: discipline. This isn't gambling. This isn't taking shots in the dark. This is controlled leverage. I'm not borrowing for a lifestyle. I'm borrowing for speed, for cash conversion, and for scale. Amazon rewards the seller who can move fast, and speed requires liquidity. So if you're stuck at 2, 5, 10, 15, 30K months, and you feel like you're doing everything right, chances are it's not your effort the problem, it's your cash flow cycle. If you want me to break down how I use exactly my credit cards, how I stack statement dates, how I manage the entire flow from purchase to profit, drop a comment or DM me on Instagram at Mancini Anthony _ with a screenshot that you're subscribed, and I'll send you an exact PDF of exactly what I do. All right, guys. So if this helped you think about debt and how to use it, hit like and subscribe. We're going to have more interesting topics like this on your way. And remember, you don't build a business by waiting. You build it by moving smart and moving fast. This is the new game. Learn how to play it.